Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom, hosted by Yana Amor Manocas. In each episode, we invite you on a transformative journey delving into the profound mysteries and wisdom of the soul. Join us as we explore a wide array of spiritual topics and sacred practices that nurture and heal the soul, from reincarnation and soul contracts to the enigmatic experiences of womb alchemy and astral travel. Our discussions are designed to enlighten, inspire, and deepen your understanding of your own soul's journey. With Your Soul Wisdom, nothing is off limits. You guys, I will never get over that intro. It just brings me so much joy, and it absolutely captures the essence of every one of us in there. It just it lights me up. Yeah.
Beautiful job. Well done.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Your Soul Wisdom. Before we get going, please like, share, subscribe, comment on our content. It is the best way to support us. The information below this banner you see going across your screen, this is all about our collective membership. Come join us. It is fun. It is healing. It is exciting. It's educational. It's all the things. So click on that link. Go to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. Come check out all the information and have some fun with us, especially if you're seeking community. Ladies, we asked in the collective, right? Because that's our go-to first. So we asked, guys, what questions do you have? We're kind of just diving right into it, right? What questions do you have? What is on your mind? What's going on in your life where you kind of need it's like groupthink, not groupthink, but you know how it is. When you have more perspectives, you're able to kind of gain better insight on what's going on with you. And so we asked a bunch of people, or we asked everybody, send us in some questions, and we got some great questions. So are we ready to dive into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Ready.
Okay, what do we got here first? Okay, first question. And again, they're all anonymous, so feel free to send in anything you've got. First person said, I'm in a stage of waiting and uncertainty right now. I want to grow my coaching work with both individuals and in corporate settings, but things feel slow with no real movement yet. I keep getting signs through angel numbers, intuitive messages, and even my card pulls, all saying the same thing. Be patient, stay the course. Things are aligning behind the scenes. Still, it's hard to keep the faith when I'm doing all this preparation and not seeing progress. At the same time, I have a current profession that feels misaligned. It pays the bills, but I can't imagine doing it for the rest of my life. My question is, how do you stay grounded and patient when you know your purpose, but the path feels stalled? How can I trust the timing when spirit keeps saying, wait? And is there something I'm meant to focus on or learn in this in-between stage? I mean, this is a big one, you guys. How many
all of
times
us can relate to?
Right.
So we're the five people advising this lady. I'm thinking, how do we cope with it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm dying to know this person's human design, because if I knew this person's human design, I would honestly just be able to tell her the answer. So the person who knows that this is their question, please let's get involved in that and let's get that started. But I think the most important thing is, while you're waiting, to do stuff that you enjoy. So yeah, you might not be on your path. You might still be waiting for things to kick in and click over and stuff like that. But in the meantime, do productive things. And for me, that's things like cooking and gardening. And I know this sounds tedious, but cleaning, which I don't think of as cleaning. I think of as grounding and sorting and organizing. But yeah, that's about as much as I've got to offer on the whole lot.
That's the end of the episode today.
That's it. Well, and over to you, ladies. That's it. That's all I've got. I'm like, I've had a year of that.
Yeah, but it's such a tricky one because
girlfriend,
when you've done all of this work, when you've done all of this work to sort of be waiting and feeling like it's not coming off is challenging. But it's really interesting because I think we've all been in this space before. And I know what I've learned is that what I thought I was going to do or how I thought it was going to be is not actually how it ends up. And this stage is a stage, again, like Rachel said, do things that you enjoy and have, you know, that in the space. But it's a really transformational time, actually, because things can come in and shift, or you are really getting that ability to just sit in with your energy and really get ready for it, if that makes sense. So I think that it's so easy in this day and age, you know, in modern society, to feel like if you can't see tangible results out in the world, then you're getting something wrong or you're off path. I see more like as a gestation period. You've done all the things, you've grown, you're just like getting really, really ready to pop, so to speak. But also, I know divine timing really does irritate some people. It certainly has irritated me at some times. But, you know, even Yana, you've had a recent experience of divine timing and everything just coming together. There is an aspect of that because we're in a co-creation. It isn't just us in this reality, and other people need to be ready for you too.
Yeah, there is right away, of course, my brain goes into the frequencies and I'm like, oh, they've got to have a 6 in their chart somewhere, because this 6, it's very much depending on the placement, God's timing, not your timing. There's things that need to happen in a specific time, and you can't rush it. And when you're trying to get into it and make it happen and rush it, you're hitting this brick wall, which is a karmic 6 feels like the most frustrating thing ever. And you feel like it's your fault. And then you start sabotaging and you're like, why am I even doing this? What's the point? I can't get anywhere. And you just go right back to your little comfort zone of not making any progress forward. What has really helped me in this situation, and I want to offer it to this listener, is shifting the perspective. Okay, I've laid the groundwork. I've put out, you know, what my coaching stuff's going to be and the programs and the costs and the offers. I've done all that. Now I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy this period of, it's almost like being in the waiting room for that thing to happen. Okay. And so finding the joy in this moment before things get crazy, I think is such a huge thing that helped me shift a lot of the times. But this energy is going to keep you in your mind thinking that sabotaging stuff comes in. I experienced this yesterday. I needed to reach out to Rachel for something, and I sent her a message and I said, I just feel, mind you, I've released the course, had a great number of people sign up. I get booked on my readings. This podcast, you ladies, everything feels like it's going in the right direction. And I messaged her yesterday because out of nowhere, I was in the tailspin of, I'm nowhere. I'm not getting anywhere. What am I doing this for? This feels like I feel like a failure, all these things. And I know in the moment that is not my reality, because reality is showing me something completely different and beautiful. But I am just knee deep in this emotion where I'm like, Rachel, I can't shake this feeling. I know it's going to go away by the time I wake up, but this is where I'm at right now. I can't connect. Love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Right. And then, of course, Rachel calls me before we get on air and she's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm good. I feel really good right now. But it's these emotional tidal waves that come in and you have to give yourself grace. It's hard. It's so hard to do.
Yeah. Can I throw in there as well on the back of you guys is the fact that all the signs are there. So all the signs are there in the sense that they spoke about the angel cards. They spoke about all the different signs and messages they're getting that to wait. Sometimes the hardest job we do is the job of, like you just said, is in a sense sabotaging ourselves, because we're actually telling ourselves exactly what is needed right now. And you just need to wait. And that, like we said, it is the hardest thing to do. I'm gonna throw back in there again. It is about alignment. It is about everything coming into place. And it is also about you getting ready. Is there any last minute housekeeping that you need to be doing, that you need to be clearing? Is there anything last minute that you need to do? Is there any space of fear or anything that is sitting in any corners or crevices or underneath your ribs or all of that kind of stuff, somewhere in your body, anything like that? Just do your bits, your last minute bits of housekeeping. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. And it does happen. It does come. If having done the cards, having done all of that type of stuff, if those are the signs that are telling you to wait, it's coming, then that's all that you can do. That's all that you can really, really do. And just use that time, I guess, productively.
Look, even from a business point of view, sorry, Kylie, just very quickly, all I'd say is you'll never have as much time or as much energy for anything in your business as what you have now, which I know this sounds a weird thing, but when things kick off, and you are just in that slipstream. So with Amanda doing the housekeeping, I'd also just say in a very practical way, is there anything else that you can get lined up? Do you know what I mean? Have you literally got everything lined up, ready to go? Because future self will thank today's self for getting that happening. Trust me, you'll be like, yes. So yeah.
I love that. Sorry, Kylie. I think that applies to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just going to say that off of Amanda, check your bullshit. Is there any bullshit there? Because I'm the queen of bullshit. I have a steaming pile sitting right beside me. And I cloak it with Febreze and hope it will go away. And then the Febreze runs out and you're like, I've got to deal with this. I know. I'm very enlightening. So I would just check your bullshit. And I think that we also get wrapped up in what we see out there in social media land. And we think that we just keep putting out stuff and we're enlightenment and we're wearing our gas-tan and we're taking pictures of the moon and we're getting our moon water. And sometimes we just need to get in and sit with ourselves and have a really fucking honest conversation.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And I'm coming from a place of absolute, that is me. And I do it daily. Yana might have it once a week. I have it every 2-3 hours.
What does that conversation sound like?
Oh, I will be like, I'm done. Done. And then I go have a nap, check my blood sugar, look at my steaming pile of bullshit that I have cloaked, and I'm like, oh, shit, that was what it was. And, but look, at the end of the day, in a serious thing, I think that just looking at where you're at, integrating is such a big thing that we skip over in healing. I reiterate whatever you ladies said, and I feel like I'm just beating the dead horse now.
That's okay. I've got something to say. I'm going to jump in. So in recent times, there have been a number of people with successful books, successful podcasts, whatever it may be, who are like, this didn't happen overnight. This happened over 15 years, and I worked at it. That's the other thing. There's this woman who she doesn't do any social media. She actually has a course about how not to do social media in your business. And she has an email list. And she said, she started the email list pretending as though she was writing to 1,000 people, even though there were 5 people on it. So I think it's just, if it is something meaningful for you that you truly want to do, give it all of that energy, because it's very easy when things don't start happening relatively quickly for us to sort of drop back in that energy a little bit. But, I think it was on the Mel Robbins podcast, someone said to her something about her success. And she said, everyone wants the success, but no one necessarily wants what it took to get there. And I think that's a really important point, because for a lot of people, it isn't that comfortable and it is hard, and you've got to bet on yourself and you just got to keep going.
All day, every day.
But if it's something that you're truly connected to and is meaningful for you, and you're getting all the signs, do whatever it takes to feel better. And I don't know why exercise was coming up for me with this one, because I know that when I'm in my karmic 6s and I'm really frustrated, if I just go and do some exercise, it helps to move some of that energy. So I don't know if that's helpful for this particular person, but okay, I'll be quiet now. Amanda?
Can I just throw in there?
Can I just say that Yana thought we were going to get through 10 questions, and I'm like, mate, we will be flat out getting through 3 of them, and I am standing by.
Have we got 7 questions? Okay, I'm just going to throw this in there really, really quickly. Go on, Yana.
No. There's no rush. There's no rush. There's a ton of episodes that we have still yet to record. Okay, because we're in the present moment. Say what you need to say, because I think there's so much here.
Yeah,
there's so many things. So, Amanda.
There is. So years ago, good few years ago, when I did my website, I don't know if I've told this story before, but so when I did my website, I did a website school with a really beautiful lady, and I did it screaming and crying. I was pissed at all the homework I had to do and everything that I had to do to get this done. And it was a deep excavation of myself as well. And that was quite fearful. But I needed to have this website because I had no presence in the sort of social digital world or whatever it was. So nobody even knew I was there. I was pissed that people weren't finding me and coming to me. Nobody knew I was there. Right. So this was a lot to do with me wanting to be seen, because I wanted to be seen. This had to help my business, but I didn't want to be seen. So there was also that was going on. So when I got this finished, when the website was finished, in order to publish it, I kept delaying. And I wanted to delay because, I wasn't ready. There's all that perfection bit. I wasn't this, wasn't that, I did this, wasn't that. I'm not ready. I don't know. So eventually she just pushed. She just said, we're getting it published. This is the day we're getting it published. It's going out. And it went out. So me that night, I'm like looking for it online. Well, I can't find it. It's not here. Do you know? Why isn't it here? I can't see it anywhere. Why isn't it here? It's gone out. It's been published. Why can't I see it? When I spoke to her like a few days later, she said to me, well, Amanda, she said, for something you didn't want to come out, you're now out. Do you know what I mean? But you're not really out. You're just coming out kind of thing. But she said to me that, it takes time. It takes time to get into the whole cycle of everything, to the algorithms and all of that kind of stuff. But deep inside me, I was still fearful. Yeah. I still had those little pockets of fear that what happens when it does show up. I want it out and I'm fighting. Where isn't it? Why isn't it out there? I've done all this work and it's not there. But inside me as well was also that. So it's about, what is the universe feeling into? It's not listening to your words, what you're saying. It's, what are you feeling? What are you really feeling? What's going on inside? So there's all of that I think that needs checking, because I was very fearful about being out there. And then when I started getting the calls, I started wondering, why are you calling me? I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. You and me both, girlfriend.
Oh my life,
don't find me.
You know what else feels like is happening or could be happening in this situation? I think sometimes whether you want to call it quantum leaping or manifesting, we're like, I want to create this reality. I want to do this thing. And we do all the work. We put it out there, but sometimes we move so fast, the reality hasn't caught up yet. And while we're waiting for everything to come into place, we're like, well, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it happening? And so we kind of then delay that process. And it's about your reality also catching up with your manifestations, your visions, your creations, all those things. They've got to come together. And it is a tough place to be. Nothing we're saying.
So the fives, I feel that way about people with fives, and I don't know if that person has fives, this person, but it's because they can vision the future and they know it's coming and they're doing all the things to get there, but actually just all of the other physical elements haven't lined up for it to be in the reality now.
Yeah. And
beautiful. So on the back of that.
Yes. Because it's like Lauren's talking to me. Go ahead, Lauren.
This person,
Amanda.
So on the back of that, like what you just said, Yana and Lauren, I think that you should create a mantra for yourself. Create a mantra that you can say that involves all of that. Even if it's like saying, like what, say like, I'm in the vortex. Do you know what I mean? And I'm waiting for reality to catch up with me, because everything's looking wonderful. It's looking really bright on this side, or whatever it is that you need to have, a mantra that you use every day to say that I would just say, I'm in the vortex. I'm in the vortex of all the wonderful things that I have created for myself. I'm in the space, I'm in the moment. And it has to rendezvous with me. In this moment, in this time. So, and that's what I would do based on what you just said, Yana. That's what needs to be That's what needs to be created, a mantra. And get out of the place of, well, it's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening. You know, it's not happening, because then that's what
find a way to keep the energy up.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's like I always say to like my kids when something happens, I say, well, where do you want to be? Because you can't be in two places at the same time. So you either want to be in the place of, I don't think I did really well in this exam, or you want to be in the place of, I've bossed this. It's all good. I don't get the results for another 6 months. What am I going to do? Sit down here and like cry over it? I haven't got 6 months to cry. So 6 months to invest all your positivity, all be on that side, not on this side. And
I have to laugh when Amanda says you can't be in two places at once. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
it's kind of true in a way. Hey, can I also say from a business
dimensions, but not into emotional spaces.
Yeah.
This person could be using this time to really think about what her intention is for the business and for themselves. And you know, when I started my business, luckily I was so young that I didn't even, well, whichever way, I was so young and lucky, because I genuinely started my business for what I ended up being the very best intentions. And that was, I wanted a business. I wanted to have a place where I wanted to work. But by definition, obviously, if I wanted to work, there are other people. And I didn't understand at the time the ripple effect of that. I was just in that, I just want to work somewhere where I want to work, and so I'm going to make it kind of stuff. But I do think that the other flip side, and I know this is hard, is I do also think that having that other job kind of gets in the way. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like another one of the reasons why my business worked is because it had to.
Right.
Because I'd come to the end of a contract and I was either going to do this business or not, and there was no other money coming in. Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing. So I was out there thrashing myself to start off with. And honestly, if I'd kept that government consultancy job, which was what I had, which was cushy, well paid, flexible, all that kind of stuff, I could have done my business on the side, maybe forever. Do you know what I mean? But I would never have had to feel like I was going to drown if I didn't do it. Well, and for someone like me, I need that.
You just like hit the nail on the head. I recently heard somebody explain this such a beautiful way. Having a backup plan is the thing that keeps you from that big, beautiful gift and success and all that, because you're like, well, it prevents you from going all in. So Rachel, that was beautiful. That was just magic.
Just by the way, I swam very hard without breathing for about 7 years is the flip side of that story as well.
Sure.
So it does really hurt.
No, it doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to hurt.
But on the back of that,
okay.
But on the back of that, we are. But I just want to say, because you just opened up like another one. That I just want to say though, that for people out there whereby you are in what we would call, say, maybe a 3D job, or you are in a job whereby you're trying to build your own thing on the side, you are trying to build your own thing. Sometimes the thing that, say like you want to go into your spiritual work, sometimes that hasn't happened. And I had this conversation just today, because you simply haven't made a decision. You haven't actually made a decision. Even though you have that gift, you have that ability, and that's what you want to do, and that's what you believe your service is to the world. You haven't yet made a decision, which is why the other job is still showing up quite fully, because you haven't yet made a decision. And that's okay, because sometimes there's still a part of you that needs to grow inside that, what I call that 3D job. Sometimes there's still a part of you. And while you're even in the 3D job, you're still doing your service. You're still doing your gifts. You can still bring all of those things to the table. So
yeah, it's not a bad thing. You're still getting ready.
It's not a bad
thing. But I do think the
I
decision comes with the sixes too. I've had that experience multiple times of making the decision and then everything sort of, all of the things falling into place.
Correct.
So
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Good point.
All right.
Magic. Okay.
Juicy.
Well, that's half the episode. Maybe we'll do the other question.
Well, the other one might be the other half of the question. So this next one, it's a long one. I'm going to read it, everybody. Let's get on it. Okay. I've been experiencing what feels like a very strong, energetic connection with someone I've never actually spoken to. We've crossed paths a few times in different settings, but there's never been direct communication, just a lot of unspoken energy, awareness, and what feels like recognition on both sides. Each time we're in the same space, I can sense them immediately. Sometimes they seem to notice me too, almost like they're drawn in, but also unsure. It's been happening for a couple of years now, and it feels too synchronistic to be the same, or to be random. Almost like something bigger is orchestrating these meetings. Around the same time this started, a relative of mine went through a difficult twin flame experience, which made me wonder if what I'm experiencing could be something similar, or maybe part of a collective energy or program that's playing out right now. What's confusing is that this connection hasn't gone away, even though there's been no real interaction. I sometimes sense they're annoyed, confused, or emotionally affected by it too. I can't tell if it's mutual or something I'm just projecting. It feels like two timelines are crossing, like something significant is trying to unfold but hasn't yet. And it's creating inner turmoil and a sense of waiting for clarity. First of all, this reads like a romance novel, okay?
Oh my God.
You know that's where my brain goes to. So here are the questions.
Yeah.
The questions she asked were, what does this energetic tie really mean? Could it be a twin flame or past life connection? Is there karma or a soul contract between us? Might the other person be experiencing this connection as well?
Just fucking talk to them.
I can't believe. I mean, like, I'm not into going. Hi, my name is Rachel.
I was going to say that.
If I had seen
next
someone
question.
in 3 places with eye contact, I would address that, and I would
Walk
be
up,
saying,
hello.
Do I know
crazy.
you?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I
Do I
would
look
say, do I
familiar
know
to you
you?
too?
Have we met?
Exactly.
Have we met before?
Wait. I maybe it wasn't in there.
do you
Maybe
have
I
some
didn't
more?
read it. There is another piece of this information is, and this is not me, okay? This person is already in a partnership.
Yeah.
And so there's this external
It's a
person.
Talk to someone.
It's a disservice to yourself, to your partner, if there is an energetic draw to someone that you've untouched for 2 years. Do yourself a favor and go talk to them and just figure it out.
It'd be so irritating and distracting. I can't believe that anyone can put up with that for 2 years.
That's
that
right.
person has got amazing, I don't know what that is, restraints, disassociation.
Yeah.
I know.
I think
but the interesting thing here is,
that's wild.
The other person hasn't approached them either.
No, but according to this person, they seem like they're
having
also
the same sort of
right.
reaction. Yeah.
And so, of course, my mind immediately goes to that kind of, I hate the term twin flame, but that
I don't like twin
connection.
flames. So
I don't either. And listen, and what I'll say is, let me add. Lauren, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Well, what I was gonna say was, every time I've had a session with somebody who's had a twin flame connection, there is a 14-5 in their soul contract. It creates that really intense bond with somebody else. It's karmic. It needs to be worked at.
It's multidimensional.
It's across the timelines. It's energetic. If you're feeling it, they're also feeling it. It's not just you in your head being like, oh, I'm so attracted to this person, or there's this pull and I must be the only one. You are not. They're both experiencing it. To what degree, I'm not sure, but it's very real for them the way it is for you.
Yeah.
And so
I think that, to answer the question, there's definitely something here. Okay, there's definitely something. But, soul life, whether it's twin flame or whatever, and human life, you've got to integrate them, right? And that can be really challenging in these situations. I would say, there is an energetic connection there. Okay, if it's a twin flame, whatever it may be, past lives, there's some sort of connection there. The question is, why is it coming into your reality? And are you comfortable with what's currently happening to continue forever or not? So I know we were joking about walking up and saying, hey, my name is blah, blah, and introducing themselves. I think that at this stage, you owe it to yourself and those around you to try to make some sort of connection in the physical world that can give you a little bit more information. And then trust yourself, because you know, your question, you know something's going on. Asking if something's going on, but you know there is. So a little bit more investigation, and just it doesn't mean you have to like ditch your relationship and jump into something else and go and elope, whatever. Just investigate. It's okay. Just investigate. There's something there.
I think it's as simple as I've never met you before, at least I don't think I have. And if I have, then, you know, please forgive me because I don't remember. But I'm going to go off the basis that I've never met you before, but I feel like you're very familiar to me. So have we met? Have we seen each other before or whatever? And you go from there. Because for me, I think sometimes it doesn't always have to be a twin flame. It could have been somebody that you were very much connected to in other lives or something like that. It could have been your mother in another life or whatever. And, you know, she's gone past you and thinking, how do you not remember me? I was your mother. We've been through 100 lifetimes together. You know, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, I think I think it has to be a conversation. If it's got to this extent whereby, did you say something like they feel the other person feels, was that
right?
What was it?
Yeah. They feel like the other person is also feeling something. Right.
Have a conversation.
Right. And look, and it's not always romantic.
No, it's not. That's the other thing I was going to say. It doesn't have to be. Right. That's the thing. It could be a real soulful connection without the romantic business.
Yeah. Although in my mind, you know, it's romantic.
Could just be a message.
The romantic business.
Could just be a message. Could be anything. Honestly, I feel like I go up to them and say, "Are you stalking me?" But as a joke, and nobody laughs.
Absolutely. I think I would. I've met people before that have felt very familiar to me, but we've never ever met. But yet they feel familiar, and they say, "I feel like I've seen you. I know you." And I say, "Yeah, but we have no idea where." And you know,
it was at that restaurant where the reservations were that one time.
Yeah, the other Amanda's been up to no good.
Always.
But I tell you what, for whoever wrote that letter, that in, thank you very much for sharing that information for a start, because that is a lot. And we are obviously very intrigued to find out if you do run into these people again and if you do have some sort of contact.
Oh, yeah. Send us an update. Let us know.
Yeah. Please speak to them. Just go and speak to them.
Yeah.
Just go and speak to them.
And trust yourself.
Yeah, and like if they are grumpy or offhandish or whatever with you, that's also information and an answer. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're fearful of if you're fearful of it not going well, that's also not a problem with really a stranger that you haven't had any interaction with. So you haven't got, in my opinion, you haven't got anything to lose.
Beautiful. All right, shall we move it on? That was really good, ladies. I think we're gonna get closer to my target than Rachel's. Let's see what we got.
Okay, maybe.
Next question: how can someone discover their soul blueprint, the energetic design or pattern that shows who they are on a soul level and what they came here to do? What are the best ways to understand the themes, lessons, and gifts written into that blueprint? And how can we start recognizing when we're actually living in alignment with it?
Not loaded at all.
Go and see 1,000 practitioners like I have, and then do soul contract and human design, and you'll be, I don't know, 25% of the way there, like we are.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this reminds me of purpose, right? Everyone's like, what's my purpose? I'm searching for my purpose. And your purpose isn't the thing that you're searching for. Your purpose is the thing you are and the thing you embody, and it shows up for you. And before you know it, you're living your purpose. And I think there's that alignment piece. It's effortless. It's easy. It feels like you just naturally gravitate into that direction or doing that thing, whatever it is. And it feels good. It feels right. Even if you're questioning it, once you're on that path, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm living my purpose. And it's one of those where you may not even realize it until you're in it sometimes.
But I don't think purpose is one thing. You know, my purpose isn't, I say just, but I don't mean just to be a mum. My purpose is not just to be a practitioner or a wife or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually asked a number of, you know, channels, you know, some of them quite public, about purpose. And every one of them says your purpose is to be alive and to be you. Yeah. And this is the thing, because, you know, you could be that person that smiles or does something kind on the street and then stop someone from making a terrible decision that day to end their life. Do you know, like, Correct. You will never know the gravity Absolutely. Of your everyday actions. So I think as humans, we place far too much importance on our thing. And I just wanted to throw that in there. So, but obviously there is sort of, quote, something we're here to do aside from just being good humans, but it's all important. It's not just one thing. And sometimes it will shift and change. So just wanted to give you that with a bow.
Look, yeah. And without well, look, all I was going to say is I wasn't being sarcastic. I have had a million treatments about this kind of thing. It's actually how I came to find Lauren in the first place, about my purpose, and it came from a psychology appointment. And then I was at a chiropractor who was saying that he had this person that can read soul contracts and tell you your life purpose. So I'm like, oh my God, you can pay someone for that? You know, that kind of thing. And these guys have been, like, these 4 ladies have been on this journey with me and heard all of the feedback that I've got from these multiple people. And the reality is that I'm not saying that I haven't got anything out of it, but the reality is that I'm no further along that track for them telling me this information. So, you know, I'm still trying to be me and trying to follow my joy or something like that. I don't even know if it's something... I don't know if it's something you can discover or even know. You can just feel in alignment. Yeah, you can just feel in alignment or not at any moment, and that's really what your guide is.
So I'll tell you what, on the back of that question was pretty loaded. Can I just throw that in on the back of that? It was pretty loaded because there are a lot of questions about who they are, what their gifts are, what the talents are, all of that type of stuff. And I think that you're not a blank canvas. There must be some of those things that you know for yourself. Who are you? What do you want to do? What do you love doing? What brings you joy? What makes you laugh? What do you know about yourself? Just like how you guys were saying, are you a good person? Are you a kind person? Are you short-tempered? Or all of those different types of things. What makes you you, and what of that are you willing to share? It really does come down to that, you know. So I think as well as doing all the other things that we can do, of course, I think this takes some really sort of thinking and valuing yourself. It's about being in love with you, with yourself and who you are, and then, just repeating myself, really deciding what it is that you want to share. I think it's as simple as that.
Kylie?
Yeah.
You know, I think that everyone's kind of said everything, but my thing is, I think that we are caught up in that human construct of our purpose has to be something grand that changes the global aspect, wins us the Nobel Prize. It doesn't have to be like that. I'm going through that with my 12-year-old who is like, I've got to nail down my career so I can pick the subjects. And I'm like, you are 12. And then you get 14 and then you're like, I got to pick my career because now I'm going into high school and I got to pick the high school that's geared towards my career.
Correct.
Right. And it is so much pressure. And it's a constant reminder of, you know what, just do you, boo. You don't have to pick. You can always change. You don't have to lock it in. And I'm saying now, you don't, even if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years old, just do every day a little bit of what floats the boat. You don't have to, I'm going to work towards being a doctor and I need to do this and this, but it doesn't feel right. But that's how I can change the world. Just be in your joy every day. And when it's ready, it'll show you. And if it doesn't show you, you've still lived a very productive life.
You know, nothing frustrates me more than expecting an 18-year-old to know what the rest of their life looks like, right?
It's 12 now.
It
is 12 now.
It's always been 12. It's always been 12. It's how it's designed, and it's how they change the schools. It's how they designed it in this country. From the age of 12, you pick your subjects that you're going to do your GCSEs in for your third year, because you don't
even know yourself.
Anybody who hears third year will know that I'm about 100 years old. So I don't know what it is. What is it? Year 9 or something like that. That you pick. You have to pick what your subjects are going to be for your GCSEs, because out of your GCSEs, you can then pick your A-levels, but you can only pick the A-levels if you've done the GCSEs, because you pass the GCSEs to get to the A-levels. So for us, it was O-levels. You pick your O-levels at 12 because you're going to go into it in your third when you're 13. And that decides. And so if you, when you were 12 years old, was like, oh, I love all the English stuff, I like all that science, geography and everything like that, and you do that and you suddenly want to become a doctor, you're screwed, because it's not going to happen.
Pigeonhole yourself.
Yes, you've already pigeonholed yourself, but it's what they want you to do, tie you down. And God forbid you're just living and just loving and you love everything and stuff like that, because no, you don't get to have everything. That's what we were told growing up. You don't get to have everything. You don't get to do everything. You pick what you're doing now. You're 12, make a decision.
Something Amanda said before too, it's like, what do you value and what brings you joy? It's really important, because I think it's so easy to place value on what others will value in the world, if that makes sense. And, back to schooling, I did really well in my schooling. I started and quit university 4 times, and I've worked towards about 4 or 5 careers, right? So that's totally manifested generator stuff and whatever else it may be. But it's like, so much of what I was always working towards were things that I thought would make me a worthwhile person in the world. And all along, I was forgetting what actually made me a worthwhile person. And that was actually being myself and doing what I do naturally. So what do you place value in? It's not necessarily going to be what the world tells you is valuable.
Yeah. Okay. Love it. Before we get to our next question, everybody, please take a moment, like our content, leave a little comment. It helps the algorithm. It is the best way to support us. Share our stuff. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do all the things, you guys. It costs you nothing but a little click, and it is a great, great support. Let's get on.
Thank you. And we thank you. Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude. Okay, next. Our next question. I'm realizing that certain friendships and even family dynamics are starting to feel heavy and draining. I know I need to set boundaries, but part of me feels guilty for pulling away. How can I release relationships that no longer align with who I'm becoming without feeling like I'm abandoning people? And I feel like I need to unleash Kylie.
And then I'm going after Kylie.
Far out.
Patiently.
I'm going to say this for people in the back. Just because you are related doesn't mean you have to allow them access to your life if you don't want them to be in it. As simple as that. I give you permission. If that's all this you get out of this, I give you permission. Your world will not change. You will not have to deal with family drama at goddamn Christmas dinner. You go live it however you want. You don't have to buy gifts anymore. You don't have to show up at barbecues and be kissed by Uncle George or whatever. You just go and live your life, right? And friendships, you know what the beauty is? Block. Done. Okay, fine. Have a conversation. Okay. Let's be mature about it. Have a conversation. If you aren't feeling an alignment, you don't have to feel drained. You get to choose what brings you joy. In all of this all these questions, what has been the theme, right? Be in joy. Just be in your happy place and it will all come together. All right, take it away, ladies.
Can I go after Rachel?
Yeah.
Can you hear
what
me?
I was going to, Lauren and I have had a very, very long, it's just a very long conversation that's gone on for some time about us and people pleasing and boundaries. And the reality is that when you do start having boundaries, in a lot of ways, you become less likable. And what we've noticed is not so much to other people, it's actually we're less likable to ourselves. That's what you notice the first thing when you start putting boundaries up, is like, oh, I don't know if I like this version of me. I don't know if this person's not as nice. This person's not as kind. This person's not as generous. This feels really uncomfortable. But if you want a life that, one thing I do have to say is all of us saying, you just have to live in your joy. I would throat punch somebody if they said that to me, if I was having a bad day. So if you're like that punch. And you're
sounds like you're not living in your joy, Rachel.
Oh, fuck. Honestly, it's so, but what I'd say is look for pockets of joy.
Look, I know it's not my turn, but this is in relation to what Rachel said because she brought me into it. So I'm jumping in. It is very uncomfortable. In fact, it feels really crunchy to start putting up boundaries when you haven't before, or to start putting yourself first. And what Rachel always says, and she'll correct me because I'm not going to use the right words, but essentially you're choosing between your discomfort or theirs, right? And so you always placing yourself and putting yourself in an uncomfortable position when you don't put up boundaries. And so really it's about choosing you. At the beginning, it's uncomfortable to put up boundaries, but it does get easier. It's one of those muscle things. Go to the gym, build your muscles. You've got to do it to get somewhere. Anyway,
it feels so good on the other side.
Well, the irony is that you may feel less likable to yourself, but I do believe that your attractiveness is augmented. Not that any of us are doing this to be more attractive, if you know what I mean, but you will become more and more aligned with what is true to you.
Well,
I don't know, like also I use this analogy that my mother goes to her wardrobe twice a day to see if something else has ripened in it that she can get rid of. She just loves getting rid of things. And she has this many clothes, everything's hung, and this is how much it is. And I'm like, Mummy, crumbs, that's lean. And she was like, I know, Rachel, but I love every single piece, that kind of thing. And I'm like, what a way to live. What a way to live, that you only have people in your life. That's what I mean. Yeah. I'm like, here am I thinking my mother just had some sort of, I don't know, post-Holocaust psychosis that she had to, not have possessions. But actually, I think that she's really onto something. Mm-hmm. And if you just had, in every way, clothing, friends, everything, and you loved every single one of them intensely, beautiful.
Yeah. So just on the back of what you just said, Rachel, then I'll say what I was going to say before. I was like that with my wedding. I got married, when I was in my 40s, and it was a very different wedding in my 40s than I probably would have had if I was younger. Because if I was younger, then everybody that my mum would have wanted would have been at the wedding, and I would have sort of squeezed in, and I'd have had cousins who I hadn't seen in 100 years. Do you know what I mean? Aunts and uncles who, think, and I also had my mum's church members who got jack and oi to do with me, but, they would have had to have got an invite. Do you know what I mean? But in my 40s, had no kids, everything like that. Everybody that was there was everybody that was loved by me and my husband. There wasn't anywhere in that room that I couldn't go to that I knew that there wasn't deep love there, and you know what I mean, and friendship and family that was there, and that was really it. Apart from my cousin's niece.
It's live. Can't edit this out.
Can't edit that.
Can't edit that
out. But anyway, so it wasn't my cousin's niece, but anyway, no. So what I was going to say, I was going to go right back to the beginning of that, what that person wrote. I think the first thing that needs to be dealt with, that needs to have healing, is the abandonment. Heal the abandonment, because that's huge. Because if you cannot let go of having people in your life that you feel drain you or no longer good for you in your life, and you feel abandonment, then that's the first point of call. Get that healing, work on the abandonment, work on also what was it? I think something that Rachel said, was it the trauma of I think it was something that you said, Rachel, but I can't remember now. But it was work on that. Those are the two things that I think is more important, I think, for me than anything else. Abandonment is a big, big issue. Once you can heal that, once you can expand that, once you can grow into that and allow it to be, or clear any of the programs that's running, any of the abandonment programs, then the world's your oyster.
And you're free, right? You're free from other people. It's funny because in my whole life, my sister, an outsider, would look at her and go, oh, well, you're a bitch. And the reason they would, and I'm the nice one and she's a bitch, but that's because I allow more people, like I have softer boundaries where she's very firm. You know exactly what you're getting. And she's like, you know what? If I have 2 hours to my day to do whatever I need to do, I'm not sacrificing that for anybody. I don't care if it's my mother. I don't care if it's my neighbor. I don't care if it's my friend. I don't care. This is my time and I need to prioritize it. And you're not going to walk all over that. And I remember there was times being younger, I'd be like, you're so rude. You're so mean. Just do the simple thing. Because I just want to, you know, give to everybody. And now I'm like, I need to channel more of her because she's like, I don't care. I feel so free. I have zero guilt because they're not prioritizing me. If they don't prioritize me, who's going to prioritize me? And I thought, yes. And now I am more like that. I'm still a work in progress. But okay, we've got time for one more question. I'm going to pull it up again.
Oh, I was going to say one more thing. Just by the way, it's like anyone that pushes back on boundaries were the people that enjoyed taking advantage of you is my last thing. So if you do get that kind of feedback, they are self-identifying themselves as that. Sorry, Yana.
No, yes. So out yourself. While we're doing this, you guys, again, like, share, subscribe the content. Our next question is, okay. My partner and I love each other, but we seem to be growing at different spiritual speeds. I'm awakening to new levels of awareness, and they don't really relate to it. How can I honor myself growth without outgrowing my marriage or making my partner feel left behind? This is a big one. Anybody?
I feel like this couldn't. Well, look, if it's only spirituality, then I think that is something that we can chat about. But honestly, the whole vibe of that question made me think that the spirituality is the most prevalent thing that this person can see is the differences in their relationship, but perhaps there's many things that they've actually grown apart on, because all 5 of us have partners that are not, let's say, perfectly aligned with our views, and it causes zero problems in our relationships.
Well, as long as there is the mutual respect, right?
Yes,
so, you know.
It's true. If they're making fun of you, but that's not the vibe this person's saying.
It's true.
This saying is, for want of better words, I'm
just
looking
growing,
at things in a different way.
Yeah.
And frankly, my subtext is I'm getting frustrated that my partner is not seeing things in a similar way or not open to it. And I'm worried that I am going to get so sick of that I will lose interest in staying with them and it will cause the demise of the relationship.
Can I flip it? Why do we need to have our partner meet us?
No, well, this is what I mean in a spiritual way. But if it's
if it's obviously there's underlying things there. That's what I was reading too, Rachel. But I'm like, I'm not asking them to meet me where I am. I get to meet them where they are, and likewise.
Yeah,
there has to be a compassion, exactly, and respect. And
I think for me that's right. I think for me as a spiritual person, I think the gift is that you have the ability to be flexible, to move, to allow your frequency to move up, down, in, out. And I think it is exactly like how Kylie was saying, that for me, if everything else is right, then like I've always said about my husband, he is very 3D, but he will do everything he can to support me in my wild and wonderful and magical world. Do you know what I mean? Like me, obviously rushing to get back today. Do you know, 2 cars, he's the car that he was driving usually parks right in the front, and then we'd have to maneuver the car that I'm driving around it. I don't have the time. So he's parked his car on the side where it should be, so I could just drive straight in, park and run. Do Do you know what I mean?
That's love. That's love right there.
Right. And this work, what I do, like I said, he's kind of more 3D than anything. Although he has his, he's very intuitive about people. If he says he doesn't like somebody, then boy, there's something about you that's not right. And I may say, well, you're not the spiritual one, I am, you don't know Jack Nori. And they're just fine. They're just fine. Bet your bottom dollar within months, exactly what he was saying would show up. So, and I think, and I do think there's sometimes in our lives whereby I do wish maybe sometimes that, I just really wish you was in this, attraction thing or this creating thing with me, because I just need you to just work with me here. And there are those times and those moments, but I know how to work with him. He's the most solid thing that I have, and he keeps me anchored. I don't need him to be up in the sky with me. I don't need him to be in any other timeline.
Having someone else like this, like I would,
Christ Almighty.
If my husband came to me and said, I think you need to ground, I would punch him in his testicles. I don't need that from him. He just bees and I will ground. You know what I mean? I don't need that in my life.
Yeah. But I think that this is a common fear on the spiritual path that most people go through.
Yeah.
I think most people do come to this point of, oh my goodness. And it's a little bit of fear about the changes that are happening. But, all of us can say, we've been on the path. We have partners that aren't necessarily into the spiritual world. And there is definitely a balance and a dance. But, same as Amanda, if my husband was the same as me, I would not be grounded ever. So I think trust that it will be okay. I think that, if there are other things going on that you're feeling uncomfortable about, that's something to get curious and look at. But just because you are heading in different spiritual directions doesn't mean you can't stay together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think there's a perspective piece too, because if you actually take a step back and view you and your partner as if you're not the other half, you can actually see more of those similarities. And so the example I offer is when I went to go see Esther Hicks, I came home, I was excited, and I'm telling my partner and I'm like, oh, this and this, there were so many men there because he's very 3D. There's so many men there. Is that something you'd be interested in coming next time? And he's like, well, what does she talk about? I said, law of attraction. He goes, oh, I don't believe in law of attraction. And I go, okay, so like, what do you believe in? He goes, I just know that I want to do something or I'm going to do something. I just make it happen. And I realized in that moment, we're saying the same exact thing using completely different words, but it helped me connect the dot of, okay, he's not as 5D or disconnected as I think he may be. He's actually way more connected, but uses a completely different language. So that really helped me kind of like, again, I don't need him to be on that spiritual train, but you should be on a close by train.
Yeah.
Well, we're going
you shouldn't be throwing rocks at the train.
But you know what? On the back of what you just said, because you could have partners or husbands that can kind of make fun of you. They are kind of like on the sort of like on the rungs of spirituality, but they can be like, that they're being sort of like sarcastic, or they're throwing little comments at you and stuff like that, or they make those little undergrounded comments, or and stuff like that. And that's the worst. That's not okay. That's not support. That's not care. But that is also a whole different ball game, because if they're undermining you like that, then there will be other ways, other parts along the way. Yeah, it bleeds into everything.
Yeah.
So
thank you for saying that.
As Lauren said, as long as there is respect and support, you're growing in different ways. And if you are expanding faster, then find other people to have that conversation with, because it isn't him. It just means that when he does come to have the conversations with you, you know that you can furnish him and underpin that information or where he's at. But outside of that, have the conversation with other people. You guys, that's
come
who
join
I have
the collective
with. My friends, come join the collective. I was going to say that. Come join the collective.
We have those conversations. I was like, find your girl
all
gang,
day, every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have my friends and all the different people that I speak to about where I'm at. Some of the things I couldn't even think to speak to him about. is just going to go way over his head.
Yes.
You know, and that's okay.
Speaking of the collective, you guys, if you have not already joined the collective, come and get on our website. You can see there's so much information. Let me pull it up. Let me actually get it on the screen here, you guys. What am I doing? Here we go. That's not working. See, this is not here we go. Get on our membership, our collective. There is so much information on here, you guys. Come be a member. We have 30 days free trial. We have monthly calls, private community access, guided meditations, healing sessions, astrology. We've got it all. Come check it out. It is the most fun you'll have. It is pure joy. There's real testimonials on the website of other members. Just come join us. And before we close out for the day, Lauren's beautiful words of wisdom are just waiting for us.
Okay. This is called Behind the Not Knowing is the Knowing. Okay. The breaking of illusion has us all holding our hearts. What we did not know, what we did not see, what we did not hear, the mirage we held in its place. It is not what has changed for each of us that has left us shattered, but the realization that behind the not knowing was really a knowing that we just did not want to tap into. Because we all know deep, deep down in the shadows that we keep. We all know. Letting ourselves fall, surrender, and embrace that knowing requires so much more courage and conviction than we think we can spare. Because we are so tired from holding the other picture up there. The time has come for us to step forward and stand tall. For each of us to hold ourselves instead of all that was false. The veils have lifted and we can see so much more than ever before. Perhaps it is a career, a relationship, or 3 or 4. Or perhaps everything you have ever known has just come crashing to the floor. What you thought you once knew, who you thought you once were, who you once wanted to be, suddenly no more. Which begs the question, how could this be so? For surely, if there was something true, surely you would know. And now we come full circle, as deep, deep down you do. For behind the not knowing is the knowing that you did not want to tap into. Go there, go deep. You are stronger than you think. You have everything you need inside you. Stop floundering and start to sink into the depths of your heart, of your soul, where the knowing is real, where the power is raw, where your spirit will rise, where your ego will fall, to living in alignment with your very core.
Thank you, Lauren. In my next lifetime, I want to be you.
Thank you, Lauren.
I want to say words like that. I think you should also be the one reading the question too, because you just make it sound just magical. You guys, for everybody that has stayed with us this long, we thank you. We appreciate you. This is you guys really help make our dreams come true just by simply listening. But if you are interested in a reading, a healing, a guided meditation session, a light body activation, you simply want to say hello to Rachel, you want to just join the collective, you want to learn everything about us, head on over to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.